Hello and welcome to this A-Level Chemistry exam question walkthrough. The question is available through a link in the description, and this means that if you want to, you can download the question and have a go at it yourself before you watch this video. My recommendation is that you aim to give yourself a minute per mark. During this video, I'll be modelling my thinking out loud and annotating the question, mostly in red and blue, and then the answers that will get you the marks will be shown in purple. If you find parts of this question difficult, you could always check out my explanation video about this topic by using the master links document available in the description. The figure below shows how the pH changes as 0.1 moles per decimeter cubed solution of sodium hydroxide is added to 25 cm cubed of 0.08 moles per decimeter cubed aqueous propanoic acid at 298 Kelvin. You can see that we have pH here on the y-axis with 5 small squares being worth 2, so each one square is 0.4. And the pH therefore is starting at 2.8. And then the volume of sodium hydroxide is on the x-axis, and of course pH rises the more sodium hydroxide you add. Propanoic acid is a weak acid. State the meaning of weak in this context. All acids dissociate into ions when you put them in water. The difference is that where strong acids fully dissociate into hydrogen ions and a negative ion, weak acids only partially dissociate into ions when in aqueous solution. And so we get an equilibrium established. We could also say that only a small fraction of acid molecules dissociate or ionize when placed in water. Either of these gets you the 1 mark. You don't need to put the bit in water that I've shown here in red, but it does provide context that you must be sure not to contradict. Suggest why a student doing an experiment to produce the curve in the figure above would add the sodium hydroxide solution dropwise around the equivalence point. The equivalence point is where the acid has fully reacted with the alkali in the stoichiometric ratio that makes up the equation. So let's say that ratio was 1:1. If we started with a beaker with 4 moles of HA and then added precisely enough hydroxide ions to react with that HA, so 4 in this instance, we would reach the equivalence point where we would produce 4 moles of our salt and 4 moles of water. And looking at the equivalence point from this pH curve, we can see that it's around about 20 cm cubed, perhaps just under. And so at this point of the graph, there is a large change of pH, even though only a small portion of alkali has been added. And so we must add this alkali drop by drop to capture enough information to plot an accurate curve with the correct steep gradient at the equivalence point. Part C asks us to give an expression for Ka for propanoic acid. Use this expression to show that pH equals pKa when half of the propanoic acid has reacted with sodium hydroxide. When they ask for an expression for Ka for a named acid, we can't be generic and use HA like I did in my beaker diagram. We have to do it for the specific dissociation. So in this case, we would have propanoic acid dissociating in an equilibrium into H+ ions and the propanoate ions. Ka is very similar to Kc in that it's calculated by taking the concentration of the products multiplied together and dividing by the concentration of reactants multiplied together. It's just that we are working with acid dissociation, hence we use Ka rather than Kc. And so for propanoic acid, Ka would be the hydrogen ion concentration multiplied by the propanoate ion concentration divided by the undissociated propanoic acid concentration. To uncover what they want us to do in the second part of this question, we need to consider the situation where half of the propanoic acid has reacted. Since the equivalence point is where all of the acid has been reacted, the half equivalence point is where precisely half of the acid has been reacted, and that is what this question is referring to. So in my beaker example, we would start again with 4 moles of HA as before. This time though, we would only add 2 moles of OH minus, half as much. And so after this addition, we would have 2 moles of H2O and 2 moles of A minus and 2 moles of HA. So the same amount of each. And so at the half equivalence point, the concentration of undissociated acid HA will be equal to the concentration of the salt, A minus. And so to personalise this to propanoic acid, as per this question, at the half equivalence point, the propanoic acid concentration will be equal to the propanoate ion concentration. And since they are both present in the Ka expression, one in the numerator and one the denominator, they will cancel out. And so that means that Ka will be equal to the hydrogen ion concentration. And since pKa equals negative log of Ka and pH equals negative log of H+, we can conclude that pH equals pKa. Use the pH from the figure above when half of the propanoic acid has reacted to calculate Ka at 298 Kelvin. To find the part where half of the acid has reacted, we first need to find where all of the acid has reacted, the equivalence point. This is found in the region where there is a rapid change of pH, which is this region I'm highlighting here in blue. It's not totally vertical, so I'll be judging from this point halfway up the line here. And to the closest half a square, this gives me an equivalence point of 20 cubic centimetres. And so the half equivalence point will be 10 cubic centimetres. Reading from the 10 cm cubed position up to the curve and then across to the y-axis will give me this pH here. And since each small square is worth 0.4, the pH at my point is going to be 4.6. The equivalence point is not fully obvious here, and you normally get half a square allowance for being slightly out with your answer. So any pH between 4.4 and 4.7 will get you this first mark. We already proved in the previous part of the question that at the half equivalence point, pH equals pKa, and so the pKa is 4.6. And we know that Ka equals 10 to the negative of pKa. And so this means that the Ka will be equal to 10 to the negative 4.6, which gives us a Ka of 2.51 times 10 to the minus 5 moles per decimeter cubed. You'd get error carried forward for your pH value if you read the half equivalence point pH slightly inaccurately. Additionally, because there was a range of acceptable pH values from 4.4 to 4.7, there will be a range of acceptable Ka values between 1.995 times 10 to the minus 5 and 3.981 times 10 to the minus 5. When sodium hydroxide solution is added to aqueous propanoic acid, the solution formed acts as a buffer when between 5 cm cubed and 15 cm cubed have been added. Explain why the pH stays approximately constant during this part of the experiment. When we add OH- ions, it must react with something from the buffer, and that will be the hydrogen ions. The hydrogen ions are formed from the dissociation of the propanoic acid, turning into hydrogen ions and propanoate ions. So if the hydrogen ions are used up, the equilibrium for the dissociation of the propanoic acid will move right to replace these hydrogen ions and maintain the hydrogen ion concentration. This equilibrium shifting effectively means that the OH- added can be considered to be reacting with the propanoic acid as well. So either of these two options will be okay for the first mark. And we could say either replace the hydrogen ions or maintain the hydrogen ion concentration for that second mark. Alternatively, we could give a more mathematical response. Since the question is referring to pH value, we can consider the rearranged weak acid Ka equation that we use to calculate the pH of buffers. H plus concentration equals Ka multiplied by propanoic acid concentration divided by the propanoate ion concentration. And the shifting of the equilibrium for the dissociation is such that the ratio of propanoic acid to propanoate ions will remain constant. And since Ka is also a constant as well, that means that nothing actually is changing, so that means that the hydrogen ion concentration will be constant, as we've already said, and a constant hydrogen ion concentration will mean constant pH. Methyl orange and universal indicator are not suitable indicators for the titration of solutions of propanoic acid with sodium hydroxide. State the reason why each indicator is not suitable. Indicators typically change colour over a range of pH values, and when we choose an indicator, those pH values need to coincide with the rapid change in pH that happens at the equivalence point. And from this pH curve that we've been given in the question, we can see that specifically that equivalence point has a pH change of between 6 and 11. Methyl orange has a pH range between about 3 and 4.5. It's red below this pH and yellow above it. And so you can see from the graph that the indicator would change colour before or below that equivalence point. And so to get the first mark, we could say that methyl orange would not change colour at the equivalence point, or that the pH range for methyl orange does not match or include the rapid pH change that occurs at the equivalence point. Universal indicator is a mixture of a large number of pigments, and so it gives a series of colours that correspond to specific pH values. I'm trying to show that with the colouring that I'm using on this pH curve, but it would in fact be even more granular than this in practice. And so universal indicator is not suitable for this or any titration, as it would show a range of colours during the titration. And this means that it has no distinct colour change at the equivalence point. Either of these points would get us the second mark.